Good morning, Internet, and welcome back to the reading of the Master List of Logical Fallacies with Alan Mueller, Bryce Barnett, and Sarah Left. Today we are on 110, the Romantic Rebel.
The Romantic Rebel.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
That's
110.
my nickname. I'm just kidding.
The Romantic Rebel. She's in here. You heard it here, folks. We caught her red-handed, the Romantic Rebel, hanging out inside of our room. Also, the Truthdig, Truthout fallacy, the brave heretic conspiracy theories, the iconoclastic fallacy. That's all the examples. The contemporary fallacy of claiming truth or validity for one's standpoint solely or primarily because one is supposedly standing up heroically to the dominant orthodoxy. The current standard model, conventional wisdom, or political correctness, or whatever may be the bandwagon of the moment. A corrupt argument from egos. Example, back in the day, the scientific establishment thought that the world was flat. That was until Columbus proved them wrong. Now they want us to believe that ordinary water is nothing but H2O. How are you going to believe them? The government is frantically trying to suppress the truth that our public drinking water supply actually has nitrogen in it and causes congenital vampirism. And what about Area 51? Don't you care? Or are you just a kiss up for the corrupt scientific establishment? The opposite of the bandwagon fallacy.
This one just sounds like they don't believe in science, to be like so for real.
At least the examples that they're choosing.
Yeah.
I love how the example that they chose was longer than the explanation of the fallacy. It was in terms of the amount of space on the page. It was just like, the person goes, you know what, let's give an example and let me just double the size of this paragraph with the example. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I love how the example of the world not being flat.
Uh-oh.
We'll ask him to complete his sentence when he comes back.
Yeah.
That
It's a cliffhanger. You said Columbus was not, and then it just stopped, so the internet got to experience a moment of cliffhanger for what you're saying Columbus was not, and now he's gone again.
Oh no.
God damn it. Columbus was not the person of the years before that.
No, it didn't quite. Columbus was not what?
I'll text it. Carry on.
Carry on. Okay. Um, okay. Thoughts on this one? I think yeah. So I'm understanding it. I like how it said the opposite of the bandwagon fallacy because it's like it's trying to find a bandwagon and then essentially saying because the bandwagon exists, that gives us um, a reason to, not believe in something. And Bryce was like, Columbus was not the person to discover that the Earth was round. That was discovered thousands of years earlier. Good to know. Um, but yeah, so how do I? Let me see if let me think if I think so. I think I've done this one. I think because I can imagine like I've definitely had the thought of I haven't done it in like a public setting, but definitely have had thoughts where and expressions around either whether it doesn't matter what community it is, whether it's the government, scientific community, religious community. Um, I've addressed those things with a negative tone, implying that they, in some way, shape, or form, have their own agenda that's not supportive of the spreading of truth, to then, from that, draw some type of conclusion or say something that's in contrary to one of those establishments that exists. So, yeah, I would say that that is something that I've done. Yeah, I've definitely done that in the past for sure. Bryce texted me and he said, Bryce says, I've definitely done this fallacy when I try to do things the opposite of what most people do just out of spite and to see if anything good comes from it. And often it does not, but sometimes it does. Good science, though. It's good.
Um, for me, I don't think I've personally done this, but okay, my grandma kind of follows conspiracy theories sometimes. Especially when it comes to like, um, there was like one when I was visiting my aunt in September in Michigan, and my grandma was there with us. Um, she was talking about like Kate Middleton, who's like the queen and not no prin I think she's like a princess in England, and I don't remember all the details, but she was saying stuff, and I was like, I think you're following a conspiracy theory there. And then she was like, "No, no, it's true." And I'm like, "Okay, but what's the evidence for it?" And then she couldn't back it up. So then I was like, "Yeah, I think this is a conspiracy theory rabbit hole that you're down right now." Cause I looked it up myself and I couldn't find anything to prove what she was saying.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but I don't think I've ever done that.
Yeah. I think this is, Bryce, correct me if I'm wrong, it's also a kind of a form of in-group, out-group bias, isn't it? Because they're identifying another group and then being like, this group over here, because I'm fighting them, it makes my argument more valid, is kind of how I'm interpreting this. Is that accurate? In-group, out-group bias could be used here, but I would say that it is a separate fallacy. Well, yeah, it is in here separately. Yeah, so those are my overall thoughts.